Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know, I need the Kleenex. Oh my goodness. First I need to say to President Emeritus Flynn, thank you so very much for being here. I could not have thought of another person on this planet to say words for me. And I have worked for him for 20 years as my boss, and he is my mentor, and I thank you. Tom, you've been my wingmate for the past year, and I appreciate everything you did for me transitioning in and what and how we partnered, and I continue to look forward to working with you as past president. And Patty, I know you're moving off, and thank you for everything. And I know we'll continue to share as you serve as the convention chair, and Greg, I look forward to working with you. Mike Sagawa, your first class, and it's been an honor as you were president, and I served and worked with you on the consolidation process. And my counterpart, Elizabeth Grigo, she left me a voice message yesterday. Her flight was canceled, and she's on the phone saying, I cannot get there until Tuesday today at 4 o'clock. It just panged her. And how kind she was. She greeted me with this big bouquet of flowers in my suite when I arrived, just saying, here we go for the journey together in this profession. And for Heidi Levine. Many of you may not know this. She is your incoming vice president, but you may not know this, that we go back, and we were in graduate school together in the early 80s. And we studied together as master's students, and we were at the Pennsylvania State University with my dear colleague who served as my mentor and continues, Dr. Leela Moore. And here we are almost 30 years later, serving for you in a leadership role. And I said to the new professionals, when I had the honor on Sunday, my tagline was, you know where you are, but you don't know where you're going. And always remember that. You just know where you're going. And Heidi, I look forward to it. You know, ACPA is 86 years strong. This value-based organization is rich in culture and recognized for inclusivity and diversity, learning, service, fellowship, multicultural competence, and progressiveness. Tom had shared some of those things on the short list for 2010 of the accomplishments within ACPA, outlining the breadth and the depth of all the things that we've accomplished. And I just want to recognize a few others that he has and a couple others that he didn't. The final report from the task force on the future of student affairs, I need to thank personally Basti Torres and Jan Walbert, as well as their committee members for the help, for their work. And know that we will listen to your wisdom. And thank you, Jill, for your kind and thoughtful suggestions on how we need to use your work to guide us in our future actions throughout the association. We're currently reviewing and commenting on the draft of the professional competency areas for student affairs practitioners, informing intentional professional development, design, and selection. Marilee and Dwayne, thank you, thank you, thank you. My goodness, for what you've done. And I thank through you to your committee members for your fine work. To our senior scholars, researchers, and practitioner scholars who continue to author the premier publication in our profession, the Journal of College Student Development, and our efforts to offer programs on sustainability, access, social justice, and all the on-the-road events. It's clear that ACPA is focused, strong, and committed to advancing the profession. And as I move into this presidency, I'll continue to be guided by our strategic priorities: knowledge and competencies, professional and career development, membership, and recruitment. And it's important to keep those thoughts and strategic priorities not only before me, but in front of all of us. And I'll be using guiding questions such as, how will this initiative or project or action decision contribute to our strategic priorities? And how will it raise the quality of the performance and knowledge base of student affairs professionals and the learning and success of our students? Now, there are two tracks happening within and around us: the process for the study of consolidation and our ACPA business. The consolidation process is very important. However, it is also important to focus and move forward in our professional business and keep an eye on what we're all about. So in my presidency, I will focus on the following: First, our student veterans and their families. The performance of our veterans in the classroom and progress towards educational goals may be seriously affected by difficulties with readjustment to civilian life. The role of the family and the impact on the family also influences their educational process and progress. Many of our vets are choosing to be invisible. And it's important to continue to strengthen our educational services to support and address the academic and personal needs of our vet students and their families. We held a camp this summer for the children of vets, and we expected, say, 30 to 50, and only about 50% of the numbers showed up. And we talked to the families about why weren't the kids there. Well, the kids weren't there because they were in summer school. Because during the past semester, the stress, the depression, the anxiety caused them either not to perform well, to drop out, and they were then repeating during the summer their classes. I also dealt with a male student at the college this past spring, very, very upset, and had started crying in the classroom, and I asked him what happened, and he said, gosh, my faculty member had talked about the war and how much he was against the war. And he said, my brother had just been killed last week in war. And it leads me to say how and what ways we are helping each other, our faculty, with information on how they should engage and support our student veterans, and what we need to do with all of our services, because we're trained in traditional methods that don't necessarily help or support our vets. We need to relook and see what we can do different for the vets who have served in armed forces. Second, we need to know better about our community colleges and their students. I am the second community college professional to serve as the president of ACPA. Mary Howard was Dean of Students at Hastis Community College in the Bronx, New York, when she served as ACPA's 38th president in 1977 to 78. There are over 1,100 community colleges. Over 11 million students attend community colleges, representing 44% of all undergraduates. Community colleges educate 40% of our first-time freshmen and the majority of our African American and Hispanic students. And many, many, many of these students transfer to your four-year colleges. And there are similar yet different challenges that our student services professionals at community colleges, what they're addressing and what they're doing with our students. And I ask, in what ways can we learn from our community college colleagues and from our community college students who may have life experiences that differ from those of the majority?